don't make a sound. Please don't fail me now. I've got to stand my ground, my ground. I know I'm not trying. Please don't fail me now.
Welcome along to Inside the WSL. It's a Player of the Month special this week. Now, all of the nominees impressed, but the winner, well, she was devilishly good, helping Manchester United to an unbeaten month and scoring 3 goals along the way. It's Leah Galton. Leah, congratulations on being Player of the Month for January. I think there's only one place to start, and that's Manchester United's form. It's been so impressive in the last couple of months. Unbeaten in December, unbeaten in January. Can you put your finger as to why that is? Is it one sole reason? Is it a variety of reasons?
I think it's just us working hard in training. I think it's finally coming together. Obviously, we got a new manager, so things took a bit of time to get used to, and I think it's finally clicked, and obviously we're on a really good run at the moment, so let's keep it going.
Yeah, your manager, Mark Skinner, says that the good form is down to connections between the players. Is that something that he's brought into the team, or was that something that was inevitable that would develop, considering that you've been playing together for a lot longer now?
I think he's definitely helped the connections, like, as he's come in, but I think we've always had them. I think we've made them stronger definitely this season, and I think we'll continue to make them stronger. So we're just working on that every day in training, and the stronger they get, the better we're getting, which is great.
And how else has he changed the team? Because you played under the previous boss as well, Casey Stoney.
Yeah, he's brought in a lot of hunger and a lot of desire. I think that's the best way to describe it, and a good mentality. So we're working on that every day, and it's getting there, as you can see in the games and the performances.
How does he increase your hunger?
It's more in training, I think, and the things he says to us in the meetings. I think it gives you the bit of get up and go that you need. So training's really good and really enthusiastic. So we just have to keep doing that and performing in the game.
Do you think your game personally has changed under Mark?
I don't think my game's changed that much. I think I'm definitely getting more and more confident as the season's going on. I think I had a bit of a slow start this year, so it's nice to finally get some goals and assists and help the team. I will continue to develop every day, obviously, in training, so I want to thank my teammates for that too, because they help me every day.
Well, you mentioned that he's brought in hunger and it's clearly working. I remember you played Arsenal at the end of November, lost 2-0. You then played them 5 games later in the last match, and you were leading for the majority of that game before that late equaliser. How much does that say about the progress that this United team has made in that time?
I think you can tell, like you say, obviously we've changed a lot since that game, and I think it was heartbreaking not to get the 3 points in the game against Arsenal, but I'm happy with the point too. If you said to me at the beginning of the season, away from home at Arsenal against a top team, coming away with a point, I would be happy. But given the circumstance of the game, I was a bit disappointed that we didn't come away with 3 points. But, you know, when we play them again, if we do play them again, we'll hopefully get the 3 points.
Has he changed the team mentally as well? The fact that you're going and playing a team like Arsenal and being disappointed with not getting 3 points, has there been a mental shift in this team?
Yeah, I think mentally this team's always been great, and we've always wanted more, and we've always wanted to be at the top with the best teams. So now we are taking points from the big teams, and I think that's something we haven't done previously. So I think we all now know as a team that we can do that, and I think that's helped us mentally, definitely.
Yeah, I think you're right. Manchester United have managed just 1 win out of 13 games against the so-called big three, Chelsea, Manchester City and Arsenal. So how do you now take this a step forward and make sure that you are competing with the best consistently?
I think we'll do a lot of analysis on the game, and I think just taking the things we did really well and doing them again and doing them again and again and repeating them and making sure as a team we keep doing them week in, week out. I think right now for us it's definitely about consistency, and we just have to keep doing that the rest of the season. If we do, we'll be in a really good space.
Games don't come much bigger in the next match. Manchester derby. Both teams, I think, have improved considerably in terms of their form since the last meeting in October. 2-2 it finished then. But who has the edge going into this one, do you think?
I would love to say us, but I think it's going to be pretty even. I love a good derby game, so I'm really excited. But obviously City are in good form at the moment. They've got a lot of players back and they're a great team. So it's going to be a tasty one, I think.
It's always a bit tasty. Do you like it when it's competitive like that?
Yeah, it's the best. I don't think you can get much better than a competitive derby game. I think if we take our form into it, it'll be a good challenge and it'll be a good battle. So let's see who comes out on top.
Well, you mentioned City have some players coming back. Manchester United also strengthened in the January transfer window, bringing in Signe Bruun. You played against, or alongside her, I should say, in the last game. What was it like, and what does she bring to the team?
She brings a different persona. I think she's getting into the team and how we play and how we press. So obviously she needs a little bit of time, but she looked good in the game against Arsenal. She holds the ball up well. Got a lot of free kicks and stuff that we needed for the game, and just breaks up the game when we needed to. So I'm really excited to keep working with her. She's a really good player.
Now looking at where the team are in the table, 5 points off the leaders Arsenal, 9 games to play. Now I know before the season started everyone at Manchester United was talking about qualifying for the Champions League, but I wonder now, because this league has been so unpredictable, Chelsea and Arsenal have dropped points in recent weeks, could you make a late surge for the title?
I would love to. I mean, that's obviously something I've always wanted to do, but I think obviously we just have to be consistent, and it is literally week in, week out, like one game at a time, and that's all you can take in this league. So I think we just keep taking one game at a time. We focus on the City at the weekend, and then we'll regroup after international break and take it from there.
Is it something that you've talked about though with your teammates, winning the title?
We've talked about it, but I think you try and forget about it and could just focus on, game after game, and that's what we've got to do at this point.
Now, each of the goals that you scored in January, 3 in total, there seems to be a theme. Basically, the ball comes into the box and you're in the right place at the right time to score. Is your positioning something that you've worked on recently?
Yeah, I think it was just me knowing that I needed to be in the box to score, because ultimately if you're in the box you've got a good chance of scoring. So I just made sure I worked on doing that, and obviously it paid off in them 2 games.
Yeah, really important goals. So as I mentioned, 3 goals scored in January, 4 goals in total this season in the WSL. You're only 2 off last season's total. Do you have a kind of goal tally aim this season?
I try not to put numbers on things, but I do give myself a bit of an aim, and obviously it's usually to do better than the previous year. So I think I'm heading on track for that, which is great. I'm just going to keep working hard.
So what kind of things do you work on in training then to improve your game, to improve your goal tally?
I do a lot of finishing practice, because some days I really need it. I do a lot of positional work, and obviously, like you say, the back post run that I've been working on that a lot this year, so that's really paying off for me. I'm just going to keep working hard in training.
Are there players, male or female, that you watch and you think, oh, I'll take an aspect of their game or take something from their game and put it into mine?
I do watch a lot of football, yeah, so obviously there's a lot of players that I enjoy watching, and I try and obviously specifically watch the left wingers and watch what they do in their movement and how they create space and stuff off the ball, and you know what, when I take it into training it does work, and it has worked for me, so I'm going to keep doing that and keep watching loads of football.
So what are your personal aims this season? We've spoken about Manchester United, wanting to qualify for the Champions League, possibly a late title surge, but for you on a personal level, what do you want to achieve this season?
I just want to be the best I can for my team, and I think come the new year I think I definitely started performing and giving stuff for my team, so I just want to keep doing that till the end of the season and just make sure I'm continuously doing that and my mentality's there and I keep providing, and hopefully we'll get somewhere, and hopefully we'll get into that Champions League spot.
Has manager Mark told you what he wants from you in particular this season?
I think it's just to keep doing what I'm doing, especially, as I say, in the second half of the season. I think I've definitely come alive a bit more, so as long as I keep doing that, I think I can definitely create opportunities to help the team win.
Welcome back to Inside the WSL Player of the Month special. We'll be hearing a bit more from the January winner, Leah Galton, in just a moment. But first, let me round up the other winners for you this month. There's a bit of a red theme here, actually. Manchester United's Mark Skinner won Manager of the Month for the second time in a row. The team racked up 8 goals in January and didn't concede a single one. Goal of the Month went to Reading's Natasha Dowie for this worldie against Leicester. Now, Lee, I'm really interested in the progress you've made throughout your career. You've had experience playing in the States, you've had experience playing in Germany as well, but it all started in Harrogate, didn't it? Aged 5, playing for Knaresborough Celtic. So you clearly had a passion for football from quite early on.
Yeah, and I think it actually came from my dad, because my dad's always played his whole life. So from an early age, I used to go watch him every single weekend. I used to kick a ball on the side, happy as Larry, and I think that's where it came from. So I have a lot to thank my dad for. And
it wasn't long before you were scouted by Leeds.
Yeah.
So that must have been quite exciting, being a lifelong fan.
That was fun. To be fair, the first time they tried to scout me, I said no. I was too scared. I was too nervous to go and play, because I had never played, obviously, at a high level. So I had a word with my dad, and my dad fully backed me. And then he said, you know what, just give it a go. And the worst that can happen is they don't want to take you on. And thankfully, I listened to him, because he was the only person I listened to at that point. And I gave it a go, and they took me on.
Seemed to work out pretty well for you. You made your debut for the senior team just 16 years of age. What was that experience like?
You know what, they're some of the best memories I have, to be honest. I think at that point in my life, it was just about enjoying playing football and the big games, and I really enjoyed it, and I have such good memories.
Now, Leeds United ladies, as they were called back in the day, nurtured some serious talent, didn't they? England captain Steph Houghton played there, Rachel Daly, our very own Sue Smith as well. What was it like playing with and training with players of that calibre?
Really good, actually. I think at that age, obviously, I was quite young. It was really good to play with such experienced players, and I think hopefully now I'm getting to that age where I'm now the experienced player, so hopefully I'm helping the younger ones and the least experienced ones in the same way they help me.
And then after Leeds, you continue to impress and continue to progress as well. So age 18, I think it was, that you moved to the States, wasn't it, to play college football. At just 18, moving your life to another country, how tough was that?
Honestly, it has to be the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I was such a home girl, and I never really left Harrogate. I never really left England, to be honest, and loved being around my family and my friends. So I think it was a big jump for me, but again, one of the best things I've ever done with my life, and I loved every minute of college. It was a lot of fun.
What did you enjoy about the football there, and how did it improve you as a player?
I think that's where I began to realise how I played and what I was best at doing. I scored a lot of goals at college and made a lot of assists in my first year, so I think that gave me the confidence to take through all 4 years as I moved up the year groups.
So you were playing at Hofstra University, then you moved over to Sky Blue in the NWSL as well. Now, when people talk about players from the States, they talk about their winning mentality, their win-at-all-costs attitude. Did you feel that when you were playing over there?
Absolutely. I think even in training, when we were playing small-sided games or training for anything we did, it was literally win at all costs. And if you didn't win and you were on the losing team, it was not a good day. So I think they took that into the games, and that's what we did. We did all right at Sky Blue. It was an average season for us, but it was a really good time. Made a lot of good friends.
So you said, going over to the States was one of the best things you ever did. Do you recommend that for young players, going over there, trying to develop and become better?
Absolutely. I think obviously going through the college system in America, where you get education and you get to play every day, is something obviously we don't really get over here. So I think it was definitely the best thing for me. And I came out with a degree at the end of the day as well, so that was really important.
What's your degree in?
Sports and exercise science.
Ah, so relevant.
Yeah, pretty relevant.
Brilliant. Okay, after the States, she then moved on to Germany, playing for Bayern Munich. But it's at this point that you decide to take a break for the game. What can you tell us about why you made that tough decision?
It was a difficult point in my career, I think, because I kind of just bounced from college to obviously the league and getting drafted in America. I hadn't really had much time just to be, you would say, like a normal person, like no schedule, no training, like just to enjoy life. And I think I needed it at that point. So yeah, I decided to take a little bit of a break, and again, it was something I really needed, and I'm glad I did it at that time.
So Leah, you've taken a break. What is it that sparked your interest in playing football again?
Well, I took the break. I had obviously first couple of weeks I was loving life, and I was like, this is great, I've got not much to do, I can enjoy myself. I was meeting my friends, having a good time, but I think after the first month I just got bored of it, and I missed the training and the mentality and the enjoyment of games and that winning feeling. So I think that's definitely what made me want to go back and play.
Were you rusty when you came back? Was you worried about falling too far behind?
Oh, I was very rusty, yeah. It took me a while to get back into it, but you know what? Like everyone says, like you can dust off the cobwebs, and it took me a while, but I definitely got back into it pretty easy.
So did you need much convincing to sign for Manchester United when that opportunity came up?
Not really. It was an offer that I couldn't really turn down, to be honest. I mean, Casey obviously like showed me what was the intention of the club, and I just wanted to be a part of it, and I thought it was perfect timing, so I jumped right at it.
What was the conversation like? Did she have to bribe you? I mean, what did she say? Did she offer you goal payments? Like, how did it work?
It was more just to do something I enjoyed again, and Casey brought that back into my life really well, and she made me enjoy football again, which was key for me, and I don't think I would be where I am today, so I'm really thankful for that.
And I mean, for a lot of players, isn't it? It's not just about what's going on the pitch. Often, if you're unhappy off the pitch, it reflects, doesn't it, in the football you play? Would you say that's fair? Absolutely,
yeah. I think I've worked on, since coming back from my break, I've definitely made sure I have a life outside of work and outside of football, because for me that's huge. And if I'm content and happy outside of football, I'm usually content and happy at work.
So what keeps you happy outside of football then?
My family, seeing my friends, and just doing lots of things like doing activities and just getting out and about. I love going out for a good meal and a good catch up. So as long as I'm doing that, I'm usually good.
Nice. Favourite meal?
I love a good pizza.
Oh, nice, nice. Ever made a homemade pizza?
I have actually, but it was awful, and I will never, ever do it again.
Okay, fair enough. Moving swiftly on. Now, I'd love to talk to you about England, because there was an opportunity where you got called up, I think it was in 2016, but you were unable to take that opportunity because you were injured at the time. You then got called up again in 2019, but you admitted and said you don't want to be considered for selection because you don't feel ready. What can you tell us about that situation and why you made that decision?
Yeah, it is a question I get asked a lot, and happily I will give an answer. And usually it's because when obviously the schedule at football is very busy, and come international break we usually get some time off, even if it's 2 or 3 days. And for me, having that time out of work and just giving them a couple of days where I don't have to come into work and I don't have to train, it's almost just like the break is much needed. So for me, it's more having that break on international break than anything. It's not because I don't want to represent my country. It's not because I don't like the girls. It's because I just need the break. And that's purely all it is.
So just bringing it back then to the Manchester derby, it's the next game up for you. Would you fancy giving us a score prediction? What do you reckon? Will you be on the score sheet yourself, do you think?
I would love to be. I'd love to be walking off that pitch with the match ball, but I'm not going to give you a score prediction, but I'm just going to say it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, we're all looking forward to it. Really appreciate you talking to us. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Congratulations there to Leah, very deserving player of the month. Now that's all we got time for on this week's Inside the WSL, but don't forget the biggest match of the season so far is tomorrow night. The top 2 teams in the WSL will battle it out as Arsenal travel to Chelsea. Don't miss it. See you soon.
win, the Gunners over the champions.
Sky Sports. Feel it all.